Lisa is starting off this particular hour in Idaho. Hi, Lisa. Welcome to the Dave Ramsey Show.
Hi, Mr. Ramsey. I'm a huge fan. I was raised in a household without debt, and I've pretty much lived my whole life without debt. And I'm thankful I took FPU just to make sure I didn't get tempted into starting some debt. But I'm in a really strange situation right now. A little background information. About a year and a half ago, my ex-husband called and said that his company was switching to an out-of-house payroll company. So my payments would be slightly different. They would be every other week instead of twice a month. And so some months I would get 3 payments. And shortly after this new out-of-house payroll company took over, they kept screwing things up. I couldn't get anybody to respond to my phone calls. Finally, I had to get health and welfare involved. Several months went by of just erratic payments as they tried to figure it out and get things caught up. Well, in the meantime, I got engaged, and my budget was changed between wedding expenses, paying for all those with cash, and then my fiance helping with some of my regular bills. I just wasn't paying as close of attention as I should have. And last month after the wedding, I was all proud of us for paying for the whole wedding with cash and not having any debt. I sat down and I looked and I noticed that I've been getting too many payments, too many child support payments. So I notified my ex-husband, and his company swears they're paying the right amount and they're taking the right amount out and they're not doing anything wrong. But I've literally been overpaid around $8,000. And at some point, somebody's going to come asking me for this money back. And so I wanted your advice as far as, how do I prepare myself for this?
How are you calculating you've been overpaid $8,000 in just a matter of months? And how in the world could that happen and you not notice?
Well,
$800 you might not notice. $8,000?
Right. Well, I just got done with a $30,000 wedding, and like I said, my
but $8,000 turning up, most people wouldn't notice.
Yeah, you would think, but it was like $600 one month or $1,000 the next month, and we were just sending money out left and right. So I kind of was at the point where I was just checking to make sure I had money in my account. If I had money in my account, I was good to go. I wasn't.
So how much is he supposed to pay a month?
He's supposed to pay 2 payments of $628.
Okay, so he's supposed to pay $1,250 a month, roughly. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And you have received how much a month?
Well, it's very sporadic. So I printed out the total history, and I noticed the first occasion of it was, in July of last year, there were no payments. And then in August, there were 5 payments. And so I'm like, okay, well, they're getting caught up. And then in September, there was 1 payment. October, 2 payments. November, 3 payments. December, 2 payments. Then January, there were 4 payments. And I didn't notice that extra payment in January.
These people are idiots.
I can't believe it. I mean, and then in March, there were 5 payments. So it was so sporadic. Like I said, I was just checking to make sure there was money in the account, paying bills for the wedding. I wasn't paying attention. I honestly just wasn't paying attention.
Run the printout. Well, listen, so where's the money? Have you set it aside?
Well, I was spending it.
You spent
it. But I had kept $8,000 in savings for our honeymoon. We were going to take a honeymoon next year. So I have $8,000. So if they say you got to pay us back right now, I have the money, but that's my honeymoon fund. So I'm kind of like, well, it's not really my fault that they overpaid me.
Yeah, it is. You hadn't been keeping up with it.
Well,
you had your head in the sand. Of course, it's your fault. They're screw ups, but you didn't even know $8,000 too much came into your household. Yeah, that is your fault.
Over the course of a year.
That doesn't matter. It's a lot of money. I mean, you really did. You really were not paying attention.
They haven't even noticed it yet.
You really were not paying attention to your freaking stuff. I mean, you really had your head in the sand. You were not doing a budget. You were not managing money. You didn't have a clue.
I was in the process of getting married. I was very distracted and working 60 hours a week. So
this is your fault.
Checking to see if I had money.
This is your fault.
But now, how do I pay this back? I mean, do I just empty out my savings and?
No, I wouldn't empty it out. I mean, I would just, but over a course of the next few months, I would be making sure I had the right amount. And for God's sake, start tracking it now.
Oh, I have been. Oh, yeah. Ever since I noticed I have been, and I just set those payments aside.
Okay, so let's say this happens. Okay, you go on your honeymoon. You come home. You build up $8,000 to be able to pay them back. You print out the spreadsheet. that shows that you owe them $8,000. You send it to your husband. You send it to the goofballs that cannot seem to get out 2 checks a month. I don't know why that's difficult. I would go ahead and send it to Health and Welfare and go, I owe you $8,000. Look at this. Look at this freaking sheet. I mean, it's 6th grade math. If somebody in this entire story would bother to freaking pay attention, one of you people, between you and this ridiculous payroll company or your husband, ex-husband, could actually figure out that this is not right, then we can just transfer the money back over to where it should be, or you can give him a credit and he doesn't have to pay you for a while, which would be even better. Just do that. Just say, I'm not going to pay you back, but you don't have to pay me for a while until I get caught back up with you. And but you guys all got to start paying attention. It's time for all of you to be grown-ups.